Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome to elections, folks. Here we are right in the midst of it all. We've got national elections, and we've got local elections, and we've got all kinds of good stuff. A new form of government right here in the Portland area. You've heard this before, and I'm doing it repeatedly. This is community television, and we're not commercial. We're not getting paid here whatsoever. We're trying to get the word out. We've talked a little bit about this new form of government for quite some time. We've always given you a little sort of an update of where we are at this point in time, and right up here we've got we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but primarily we're going to be talking about the impact of the national politics. Maybe just a little flavor, a little bit about the local stuff too at the same time, because it's still in a confused state. We're still in a confused state aspect of it, but we're going to go ahead on. So we're going to just jump right up into this piece, and we're going to get just a quickie update from John here. John Sweeney, you've seen John here before. We're going to give him about 10 minutes to do that piece, and then we're going to shift right into national politics and get into Bob, and Bob's going to kind of lead that particular charge, and we're going to go from there. And whatever you get, again, this is community television. Hopefully, you will share this with your neighbors and the like, and whatever, because no one else is doing this kind of stuff that we're doing. But anyway, we still we have to live. We're living with the existing entity that communicates with it, and that's commercial television. Bottom line, okay? So, with that, John, what's the update? Give us an update. Give us a little quickie update. How many people are running? And
All right,
what are the primary
30 people
dates?
are running, and
For each district. Give us each district. Come on, break it down.
30 people are running, and I was at the Laurelhurst Neighborhood Association meeting last night, and they had the 20 of them showed up.
For what district is that?
Third district, which is basically the central east side,
Okay.
and from 205 to the river.
Okay.
And below, most of it is below the Banfield Freeway,
Okay.
and down to the
Okay.
to the county
You
line.
got a map. You got a map.
Yeah,
Here.
and there's the thing. And the thing is that you can see how I'm dressed. Out of 3 events, I was the best dressed guy there, because I can't believe how shabbily the guys are dressing. I mean, they're wearing T-shirts.
And John's by the way, John is a candidate for district number 2. I want to make sure we make that very clear. But again, he's more knowledgeable than all the rest of the folks, because we want to have an idea. We'd like to have had all the rest of them. The bottom line is that John is basically give us an overview of the whole deal.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
But anyway, there's 20 of them that showed out of 30, and then there was event at the Darlington Community Center, and then the Willamette Week, and at the Willamette Week
that's all in District 3?
And that's all in District 3,
Yeah.
and then the Willamette Week did a section had 7 people, 2 ladies and 5 guys, and just amazing that these people are dressing so shabbily for really a big paying job, and a lot of them.
That's about $150,000 a shot.
Yeah. And the deal is they're talking about they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And the thing is, the consular's not going to be running anything. They're going to have, and the thing is, they're putting their office downtown instead of out in the districts, so the people can get to them. So it's.
And you had a suggestion that as we've been talking about this stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, because you got all these.
You were at Parks at one point. You retired from Parks, right?
Yeah,
I was with Parks, and we do have a hell of an extensive
I was with
Parks
Portland Parks, and there's community centers out there, and the fact that they could put them out there in the community center, and then the thing is they could have a rotating meeting so the citizens can get there, because going downtown.
How many parks are in the city? What's the numbers of parks in the cities, locations? How many locations do we have?
The parks, there's about 300 parks.
300 parks.
300 parks, and just about every district has got 2 or 3 real nice community centers, and they've got meeting auditoriums, so they could hold 200-300 people at a time.
Yes. Wow.
And the fact is that it kind of clogged up.
No problem with parking, anything like that nature?
It would not be that much of a trouble, see.
Right.
So, but going downtown is a problem.
It's huge. That's huge. Okay.
anybody that enjoys going downtown, they've got something wrong with them.
Keep going.
And so, but I've been to these events, and some of these people, they've got the buzzwords, and then when you start talking about something specific, why they kind of run out of gas, because they've got the buzzwords, but then they run out of gas.
Who are the interviewers? City folks? City staffers?
The Willamette Week had their people. Then the thing is that the
wait a minute, you said Willamette Week, okay. Now what about the Oregonian, the Tribune, the Mercury, and what about the rest of them?
They've had questionnaires they've sent out, and then they've answered the questionnaire.
They have to, so who's basically doing the questioning? I mean, that's what I'm saying, physically.
Okay, physically, at the Darlington one, they had a moderator there, and he was asking questions.
Moderator from what, the city or one of the medium?
He was a neighborhood guy that asked pretty good questions. And then
I'm trying to, what was it, neighborhood association, or what's the deal?
Well, that was the neighborhood association.
And the
Laurelhurst neighborhood association, they had a rotating where you moved from one group to the other, and they had a main question that they asked for that group at one time, and then they would shift you to another group, and everybody answered the same question.
Okay.
But you were talking, there would be, say, like we were in a row, and there was 6 of us candidates, and then the thing is they had the citizens there, and there's about 20 to 25 citizens in each group.
Okay, but let's get back to who's chairing the deal. Whether it's the neighborhood association,
it was a neighborhood association
responsible for basically doing all the questioning of the candidates.
Right, and they did a good deal. And the thing is, got to give the moderators in each group a hand, because they went right down the line. So every candidate had a crack at that job. It wasn't like some places like the Willamette Week, who would get their favorite person that would get all the goodies. So,
but like I said, you got neighborhood association that basically did all of the questioning from each of the districts, all of the districts, right? Basically.
Yeah. Well, anyway, all I can talk about is District 3 and the meetings I've been to. That the people of doing it, that they were going equally for the candidates. So whether they liked you or not, you got an even shot to answer that question.
So maybe the neighborhood associations were basically responsible for doing that.
Yeah,
for the rest of the districts.
They had a great view of the questions they asked.
Okay.
They were pretty pertinent to the situation, and it looks like they had a good handle on what the city council is going to be.
Okay. So hopefully they had the same situation for all the rest of the districts. That's where I'm coming from.
Well, it was pretty good out of my experiences there.
Okay, good. So what else? Now, what about those important dates? Now, what's the next important date?
Okay. On Tuesday, I was at the Eastside Democratic Club, and a lady from the Multnomah County elections was there to explain the election system, and she started off, and I told her it's kind of like mud, congratulations, and then when she was done, I says the mud is even deeper.
Okay.
And but supposedly they actually mailed out the voting pamphlets on Friday.
On this Friday?
Yesterday.
The 4th.
Yeah. And so they will get out in plenty of time, because I think in the primary they only got the ballots out to the citizens about 3-4 days early.
They were mailed out.
It's a week ahead.
Okay, they were mailed out on the 4th, which was a Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now the ballots are going to be mailed out on.
No, wait. So they should be getting there by Saturday for the weekend. No, they won't.
If they put them in, they should be making it Monday or Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday, right? Monday or Tuesday. Okay.
And then the ballots are going to be mailed out on the 16th, which is a Wednesday.
The 16th. Okay.
And so everybody should have their ballots by Saturday the 19th.
Okay.
And then they'll have that time to be able to look it over, and like they said, the voters pamphlet is going to look like a phone book from a small town.
Now, what about the donors program? They got the donors program still out there. Is that still running? Were they still picking up names and monies?
That's still going, as far as I know.
How long is it? What are the deadlines for that?
Well,
tell the voters,
I can't tell you because I didn't get into that program. See, they had some of the people were swapping their names around, and they're under an investigation. So things could get pretty spicy. See.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, but that's still, the program is still going.
It's still going. Yeah.
I think I heard a number about the 27th or something like that of October or something like that.
And is it true that people can get up to $40,000 out of this program?
Well, that was supposedly the deal, but they had so many candidates, I think that knocked it down to about 32,000. Okay. But don't quote me on that. But the thing is, they got more candidates. 118 candidates is for the 14 offices. You know, you figure the mayor and the auditor and the 12 councilors.
But all of those are getting monies too. They can all go out and get monies.
They could all go for money if they want.
Okay. So we're limited the pot. Now, have they given any monies out to anybody yet?
That I don't know.
I thought I heard that.
I'm sure that they have, because some of the people have got enough.
They have enough money
volunteers,
to pay staff and to put out ads.
Yeah, and I think I read in the Oregonian when you think about it, when you start thinking about those people that got in on the front end.
Yeah.
And I think for the mayor's office, Minkus was one of the ones that was, he was publicized in the paper from the standpoint that he was running for mayor and he's getting the money, he was spending money, but then he ran out of money. I thought maybe he was getting money from the city.
Oh, that was Mapes. See, and the deal is he was making all that noise during the primary, and it didn't count. And then you spent a big wad of money.
Well, was that his money or was that the city money?
It was some monies from some donators, or maybe his own. But the thing is, he ran out of money in May, and the thing is that he must have driven down the highway with a convertible with the money in the bucket and gone like this because.
No, wait. What money was he getting?
No, money wasn't given out in May.
No.
So they were still trying to figure out how they were going to do it.
But he was running.
But he was running.
And
he had money that was donated and some of his own. And he ran out. You know.
Did they count that money towards his campaign?
Well,
How do you work that deal out?
Well, that means that you're out of money. Now you're waiting to see if you get any of the donor money.
Any donor money.
So you know, it's kind of like you got a mile race. And you got enough gas for a quarter of a mile.
Right.
So what do you do with the other two?
But I thought they had. But I thought they defined. But I thought they defined how much money you could spend and what monies you could spend. Did they do that or not?
Well, he spent the money, but he didn't spend it wisely because it was absolute
understand where I'm coming from. You know, they got all these criteria. You know what I mean, in terms of how you can run and what can you do and what you can't do. And I'm just saying, was it you could not spend your own money if you sign up for the donor program or not? What's the deal?
I didn't see anything about that.
No, but I'm just asking that question.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about that when I looked at it as far as the donor money was concerned. This is money over and above what you can go out and collect.
Well, Sam Adams, who flubbed up and he's not in the voters pamphlet, and he's got a runoff anyway, he loaned his campaign some money. Okay. And some of these guys, that's what they do, is they loan the money so that way if they get enough money they can pay themselves back.
Oh, okay.
And
that's
but the deal is the money that Mapes spent during the primary, he has to count that as his total expenses for the race. And because he started doing that, he actually had to start having periodic reports to.
Yeah, so he has to identify those folks who gave money during that particular time.
Oh yeah.
And then just not. Boy, that's really a heavy piece because sometimes you might say, "Well, gee whiz, I'm gonna give you your money back too." Something, all kinds of weird things are happening. Whatever.
Yeah, and the deal is, Sam Adams, he got confused with the filing deadline for the voters pamphlet for the city, which was later than it was for the county, so he didn't get his voting material, the voters pamphlet material in time, so he's not. It's been a lot about Sam in the paper, so he got a lot of PR on that piece.
Oh yeah.
He got a lot of PR.
Free publicity. They call it.
Yeah. And then Mingus, since we're talking about the mayor's race aspect of it, I don't know if you saw that other piece about he was a little disappointed with the support he was getting. Now the same people he was getting money, he can't go back now because he was saying that. They're giving up. He can't raise the money anymore, and they said, "Well, it's all going to Gonzalez." And
they changed who they were supporting.
Yeah, the supporting piece aspect of it, and he jumped up and says, and then the papers, which I thought was kind of interesting, and why they did that, I don't know. and said he was using the black issue. Black issue. That's why he wasn't getting anything. And so,
Where does he live?
he lives in Portland, but the key is that you can live anywhere in the Portland area
Well, yeah.
and run for mayor. You know what I mean? But they brought the race issue up. I'm just saying, and so consequently, we still living with that. That's still a big issue. And if you put that in the front of your name, you're not gonna, then you're gonna be involved.
You eliminate a lot of people.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that people need to begin to look at.
Yeah.
If you can't run on issues,
Right.
and you got to run on your name,
Yes.
your nationality,
Yes.
not nationality because we're all American,
Right.
but your color,
Right. Yeah. Skin color,
your religious background,
Yes.
then that's not politics.
That's right.
Tell me what you're going to do.
That's right.
How are you going to do it? And why you think I should support the ideas that you have.
But Bob, a lot of times that comes out as a result of the commercial media. So
Yeah.
when they question you, or when you're going in the lobbying group or whatever, I mean, the person who want to file probably has a fixed platform to run on, but they don't understand. They don't understand the bottom line. If they did, they'd understand that once you get in, you lose at least 70% of what you would like to just focus on.
Well, you better be a person that can bring people together.
Yeah.
Because right now in this city council,
Yeah.
it's 12 of them.
Yeah.
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 And in order, and they're going to be trying to put things together for the city manager and the mayor.
Yeah.
And just because it's 3 of me in my group, don't mean that anything is going to come out of my group.
That's right.
You have to be able to.
You have to lobby the rest of the groups.
Yeah,
They have to have the votes.
that's it.
And when they get together, and then you got the mayor, he can't appeal any of that stuff.
Well, he can't, but he's got a city manager that's controlling everything, and who determines who the city manager is?
Yeah, but that's the bureau, though.
The mayor.
That's the bureau. But that's the bureau, though. He controls the bureaus. See.
Well, actually,
The mayor control is going to recommend the city manager to this group of new people to vote on. I was reading this. I got it all right here. I was reading this. I'm going, wait a minute. So, if the mayor determines that whether or not I get presented to the body, who am I beholding to?
But we got to make sure of that, because that's my point. I guess my point is that they're still meeting, Jim. No, I hear. But see, that might be old news. I'm just trying to share with you.
Yeah.
The point that they're having meetings now, and they're still changing the rules of the game as we speak.
Right.
well,
see what I'm saying?
one of the interesting thing is that starting in January, Wheeler, the mayor, set it up on this new system, and so the commissioners have nothing
Voted
to
it
do
down.
right now. So
They
they've
voted it down.
Yeah, they've already got it.
Yeah.
That's how they're operating now.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got a feel for it. So when say I get sworn in, or whoever, when they get sworn in on the 1st of January, and 7 out of 12 get a feather in the wrong place, I mean, things could go to hell in the handbasket
Like
in a real
what?
big hurry.
Like what? What do you mean?
They could say, come in there and it says, get those people out.
Get
Fire
what people? What are you talking about?
the administrator and deputy administrator.
Okay, so the city manager, so the elected officials will not have that responsibility.
No, the mayor does the hiring, but I'm sure the deal is that
I know you're referring to, but that's gone.
No.
No.
I just did this today, and it says, will the mayor hire and supervise the city administrator?
Okay.
Yes. The mayor appoints the city administrator subject to the council confirmation and directs them. Boom.
Okay. But you made a good point about the council. But the council.
The council, yeah.
They have to have the discussion with the city, then they vote on the piece, I guess. Because meaning, maybe I'm just thinking that in terms of them being able to fire that person, still have to go through the council, right?
Yeah.
The first order of business
Yeah.
is to confirm those people.
And the first order of business. See, that's the problem we're having right now. In all due respect, there's an outside entity that's trying to change the game from day one. So when all these folks get elected, then it's going to really be a zoo. they may even be able to sit up there and say, well, can we change some of that stuff that's on the table now?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everything's fluid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So this is
Kind of like diarrhea. Huh?
Yeah, everything's fluid.
well, the other thing I'm gonna throw on the table. The other thing is that in all due respect, in the past, under our old form of government, in all due respect, the business community had a great deal of power. They had most of the power. See, and so when they first came in with the whole new form of government, it was going to be those city commissioners that was going to be basically the power source. And then that has since been watered down because, in all due respect, the folks downtown are kind of like saying, well, gee whiz, we got a lot of issues here downtown, and we want to make sure that we still keep that power, and that's where we're going right now. So by the end of the day, like you said, as you read that other piece, I think what's going to happen is that until when that new city council come in, that will now be the defining moment as to where is that power going to be.
Well, now I think we need to change the word from city council to legislative council.
Yeah, that's a good.
Because that's what they're going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and
good
executive,
point.
And the mayor is no longer mayor.
That's
He's
right.
an executive officer, executive mayor.
Yep.
Yeah, the only
And
the only holdover is the auditor, and the city auditor in the past and in the future. They are also the council clerk, and they set up the council agenda and all that. So I imagine that they're going to have that lined out, and they'll hold a meeting and. Do we approve the agenda and move forward on the agenda? And I'm sure, first part will be confirming the administrator and the deputy administrator.
Well, now we got the viewing public here, and for those who will possibly see the show, can see that we're confused. Now they're confused too.
Oh yeah.
And we're just as confused. So the name of the game is that who can one call if they want to bring elections, right? Maybe just call the elections.
One of the things that they said.
Or the mayor now.
What you have to do is go online, and bring it up. Because they are still going through meetings trying to put this stuff together.
Yep, that's true. No, that's true.
And so there's so one of the questions was, who will inform the smaller neighborhood associations?
Right.
And they said we're not. They'll have to pick it up by what we come up with and things of this nature, and then send in their recommendations based on what they read and whatsoever. So like I said, and they said, well, what about the black community? And they said they too will have to read and bring in what they think should be. And what I'm looking at is you had 5 people which you could control, kind of manage. You've made it now 14. And the 14 is not sure what their power structure is. And
well, they're not even elected yet.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. And now you're going to bring some people in. This is how it looks to me. I own a company, and I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna tell all my employees and the people outside my business, hey, we're gonna put together a board to run my company. And all these people outside the company have no idea, have never been involved.
Right. Not even employees yet. Right.
Newspaper reporters, just a man on the street.
Yeah.
They're gonna run.
Right.
And now I'm going to depend on people outside my company to decide which one of these is going to be there to run my company. And believe me, this is going to be a cluster, the other word, until for the next 3 to 6 years. So get ready for just a major mess in the city of Portland.
But right now, we still have people on the payroll. and that's the existing form of government that we have today.
Right.
The mayor and the 4 councilors.
Right.
Right. You got me?
And they get their 175 and 133,000.
So the idea here, I'm thinking that in terms of who do we call as we talk in this piece, these people are still on the payroll, and the majority of them are running for office. The 4 city councilmen are running for. So give them a call. You can call them now. They're on payroll to answer your questions.
Yeah, and what you're going to get from them is an opinion. Yeah. Understand, you're not going to get facts. You're going to get an opinion.
But guess what? They're going to have to be careful how they give the facts because they're running for office. They need votes. Right. So if you call someone and they don't answer your call, don't vote for them.
The one of the dumbest things that don't make sense to me is that you have a mayor and you have 4 council people there, and 2 of them were up for election. And the other 2 have only spent 2 years on the job, and everybody's kicked out.
But all of them are not for elections.
Yeah,
that's what I'm just saying.
Every one of their jobs,
but they're still on payroll now. In their positions.
Right.
But since they're running for office, they need votes to get reelected. Right. They get elected. So it's best to call the commissioner who's running for office and they're looking for votes.
Yeah.
And if they don't answer the phone, now it's a whole different ballgame. They will answer the phone now.
Yeah.
If you hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fair?
That's fair.
Okay. All right.
Well, one of the things is you go look at the 4 commissioners that are running. 3 of them are running for mayor. So 2 of them are going to be out. See. So one of them might make mayor.
But
and then one is running.
No, but right now, buddy.
Yeah, right now you want to get answers.
Get after the commissioners. And the mayor. The mayor's still on payroll too. He's getting paid. So the bottom line, call those folks directly. And if they don't answer your call, you just chalk that up. So when the voting pamphlet comes out, you
already got an X by their name.
X by their name.
X'd out.
Hey, that's a deal. That came from Bob, by the way.
Well, one of the things I did in my voter pamphlet statement is I put my email address and my phone number. So
yes, there you go.
So they deal as they can
call you now.
They can call me now.
He recognizes he needs that vote.
I'm just lost as to what they're going to do.
Okay.
I don't understand the workings as to what are these 12 people supposed to do.
Right.
I mean, you got a city manager who's going to hire 6 other people to do the job that the other guys were doing the year before. And then what are these 12 people that you're going to pay this over 1.7 or $8 million to doing?
No, but then it's going to switch hand in terms of who gets to be the leading voice, a leading person to say, no, you will do it this way. Those are the elected city commissioners. That's when they're going to have that discussion. And trust me, some people are going to get fired on the other end. They're going to change the rules of the game and say, no, wait a minute. I got my people over here in District Number 2, and we got to represent my folks.
Right.
And we want you to do this.
So we've divided the city up now in the fourth section.
We still got a mess.
Yeah,
you still got
a bigger mess.
Well, now let's shift to the other bigger mess. The United States, if you will. We got a bigger mess sitting over that piece aspect of it. We got an election, folks. We got a national election, and we want to talk about that for this next one. And Bob's kind of like, we got to represent we got 2 entities. 2 major entities. There's the Republican Party and the Democratic Party.
Right.
As far as candidates who are running for those, there are other splinter groups that are running, but the major parties and where all the focus is on are the 2 major groups, the Republicans and the Democratic parties.
Right.
Okay, responsive. So we're going to now get in that discussion. We got, I'll say Harris, because I can't hit that first name.
Kamala.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Kamala Harris and what's the other guy?
Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure we get that. Okay, we got that. So basically, we're gonna talk about that, and John will be in the middle here.
He'll keep the peace.
No, there's no such thing as peace. I ain't gonna have peace between the 2 of you and I. But he'll be there. John will be there. He can talk about these outside groups. We get him on the outside groups aspect of it. Okay, let's talk about the presidential race at this point in time, and just a little quickie update. How did we do in the Democratic Party to get to the point that we picked up the candidates?
Well,
Just briefly.
bad performance by the president led to the party, a large number of people with power within the party to say, hey, wait a minute. He showed the American public that he's aging, and that, but what the American and so politics is not what you do, it's how you present yourself in most cases. And he didn't present himself well as far as the body felt. And so they asked him, say, hey, you're getting up there in age. And the most important part of the thing,
now, who are you talking about now?
President Biden.
Right. Okay. That's
They
right.
said to him, when you ran, you said you was running for one term.
Is that right?
He said that. And so, he said, no, I ran because Trump ran. And that's why he ran. If
Yeah,
it
but
had been-
he's going to run for 2 terms.
and so Trump was running, he was going to run again. And so,
Oh, I see.
so what he demonstrated is that he's a very brilliant person, and he can think it out. But it came across to the American public that he, not that he couldn't, but that he was slow in the way he did things. And every Democrat has said behind closed doors in those meetings, he's right on point.
But you do agree, Paul. I'm sorry. You do agree that also too that once you say that I'm going to be running for that seat, all the other things go. I mean, my point is that now all of a sudden, now the election begins. The physical appearances and all that other good stuff plays a role,
Right.
As opposed to when he was president and he was not running for office. That was not an issue.
Right.
I mean, it was just basically his brain power and running that. No one person can run that show. Right. I mean, so he was just basically a hell of an administrator, and he had all that experience, whatever. But when he says I'm running for that seat aspect of it,
Again.
that's when personal appearance and all kinds of stuff, and in all due respect, all the other stuff that goes with any candidate.
Right.
All the stuff that's not political, but it has an impact on the general public, because the general public is not as aware, if you will, of what goes on behind the closed doors, because that's really where it all happens anyway.
Right.
And the only access we normally have is the folks that we elect to go down to D.C., our congressmen and our senators and whatever.
Right.
But a lot of times people don't know that. The voting public don't know that.
Well, you and I, we grew up in an age where those that was elected came back to the community or on TV and told you why they were doing things.
Right.
Today, these politicians don't do that. They come to you and tell you what they're going to do,
That's the problem.
and not ask for your opinion.
Yes, sir.
It's them telling you. So right now, the cart is leading the horse.
Yeah, that's our progressive.
We're the horses.
Those are our progressive kids.
We train them to be like
that's
that.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
And so
we came from the old school. We were working every day.
that's right. So in this political atmosphere, what we have is a group that will tell you anything, and a group that will tell you anything.
That's the playing field, though. But that's the playing field, and that's the book that
Right.
you were handed.
Right.
If you will, and say, well, now, wait a minute. It's not the issues that you're talking about.
Right.
But here's the playbook. You can do anything else you want to do here. You can talk about personal issues. You can do this. You can do this. You can
I can bastardize you to the 10th degree.
That's right. And you won't get that book until you sign.
Right. And so now one group has said, I'm not going to label them Democrats or Republicans. I'm going to say one group, and maybe our audience will go and see who.
Yeah.
But one group has said, well, yeah, we can lie to you. It's up to you to go and check the facts and find out if it's a lie.
Yeah.
And now, for me, I go and check the facts. But the majority of us, we have become so lazy.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about we the voters. We've become so lazy until we'll look at one side and lock in. and that's our side. And I don't care if they go out and commit murder. That's our side.
Yeah.
And
They changed the rules of the game.
and
Whole different ballgame.
the game has changed.
The game has totally changed. That's what I'm saying. They're spending so much time on past history as opposed to the issues.
Right.
The issues at hand. And that basically takes 80 or 90% of what the public sees now. And boy, I tell you, it's killing us.
Right.
But
to demonize,
that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
demonize people. You know, is this is not America. You know, we the majority of the people in America was their ancestors came here from somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh, that's right.
so
And
you're
that-
not indigenous.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, you know, most people don't know our history of the fact that the Native Americans that was here, there was blacks here.
But that don't count.
You know, because we don't know our history.
I'm just saying.
We're just accepting what somebody else tell us.
No, look, I understand we don't know our history, and people don't want to know that history.
That's right.
Unless it personally identifies with them.
Right.
From
Because they've discouraged people from learning and appreciating history.
No, it's about the money.
Yes, it is. If I can continue to control you to where you make over $1 billion as an entity,
Yeah.
and you spend it all within that year,
Yeah.
versus my other side who can make $1 billion and only spend a portion of it and realize that there's going to be tomorrow.
It's
I
called.
need to save some of that.
Yeah.
Which side am I going to try to influence?
Well, but again, you're not the accountant.
Yeah.
Before the accountant used to look at all of it, but they don't do that today.
No.
It depends on who's in power.
That's it.
Yeah,
And so,
that's the way it is.
you know, and for, you know, I had a discussion today with a gentleman online, and I called him a few names, you know, and then I thought about it. You can't take it back.
No, you can't.
The one thing, one of our past, who was a very good friend of mine, past county commissioner said to me, Robert, before you hit that send button, reread what you sent.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And I wish I could take it back because I called him a few choice words.
Yeah, but check it out though. Even on the send button, they can get you.
That's true.
So anytime you hit it, it's on there.
Yeah. And so that's my thing. And I went, you know, I'll never run for, I shouldn't say never, but I don't think I'll ever run for
No, you've been
anything.
running every day, Bob.
And my attitude is a simple one. I look at people and see how they treat other people
Okay.
as to whether or not they're my friend or somebody I know.
I got you. Okay. But then that's an opinion. That's your piece.
Yeah.
That's your lane.
And so, when in America did we stop wanting to help each other?
When everybody
Because we came here helping each other.
No, when everybody started saying, I got to get a lane to exist.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody got lanes.
Pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Yeah, well, that's it.
It's not true.
No, but that's the way
Nobody
it is.
in America pulls themselves up by their own bootstraps.
But that's the definition
They're,
of
we
they're
all need
standing
help
on the
along
shoulders
with
of somebody
Yeah,
that came
but-
before them. I
I'm-
don't care if you're black, white, green, yellow.
I'm
or blue.
agreeing with you, but my point is, but the reality is that I got my lane. You may tell me that. Now, what can you do to help me with my lane? That
That's
type
it.
of thing.
Everybody wants somebody else to help them.
Well, that's
they
the-
don't want to help anybody else.
No.
And that's the bad part.
Well, they want to help as long as you help me first.
Yeah. You know, in a lot in the business community, the black community, the thing is, when we always say you're replaceable when you get to the top
Yeah.
because you don't own it. You know, you get to the top and you go against what the body over here is saying, they'll replace you
Well, there's
with
only-
another one of you.
Well, there's only one. There's only one seat.
Yes, that's it.
See, you got a majority of seats on the outside. You
And
can play games, but once you get into that one seat arena,
Right.
it's a whole different ball game.
Totally.
And you lose all your money. You lose your personality. You all kinds of. Oh, by the way, guys, we got 19 minutes. We better
Okay.
get back on our piece now. Now, the way I was going with my question was the fact that if you were able to do this real briefly, was how she became the nominee for president. Remember?
Well, she's the vice president.
No, without going through the process
Right.
of the normal process.
Well, they
we had
didn't have
before.
a normal process
No.
in the beginning.
No,
They only had one person.
Yeah, it was,
and that was the
it was
president.
Biden or else. Yeah.
And that was it. That's how it all started. And then when the body realized that he didn't put forth what they call that supreme image to the American public, they realized we're going to lose this race with him at the top of the ticket.
Yeah, so
what do we do?
So a group.
Well, you couldn't go and get somebody out of Congress or off the street. You got a vice president sitting there, so
But see, a lot of people were upset with that, though.
Yeah, but you know the thing is,
I don't know anybody upset but Republicans.
Was it? What,
Because she makes him look like what he is.
but now you're getting into the head of your game.
Okay,
Yeah.
But the name of the game, no. But the name of the game is that the process was, if a person has that ability or whatever. My point is, a group kind of got together and then picked someone within the party group.
No, they picked the person that was next in line.
yeah, but the deal is, you know, when
That's the vice president next in line.
Okay, so that's your opinion.
That's the facts.
Okay.
They picked the person that was next in line.
Yeah, and the deal is,
Okay,
what they
that's-
were worried about, the fact that not only would they lose that race, that they were going to lose a lot down line.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying.
and
I'm getting to the meat of the matter.
Okay.
I want to get to the meat of the matter.
So
a lot of folks were concerned with that.
so
Okay, now she's she's
a candidate.
She's a candidate,
Right.
And then she selected us. That's the normal process, Pete.
Right.
She selected a person. No problem.
Right.
Now let's get down to the meat aspect of it.
okay, the meat aspect of it is if the Democrats lose Congress or the Senate, we're right back to where we started from because of the hearts line of some on the other side of the aisle. If she wins, she needs to have the Senate and the House of Representatives.
One of them, anyway.
And one of them will stop things from going bad. But both of them will move the country forward. You know, so that's how simple it is.
And on the other hand, if she loses, then if the other entities win the presidency and the Senate and the Congress, I mean we've gone through that process
Yes.
too again, and a lot of times we're still having some of the same issues. You know what I'm saying? Because people are still making when you're sitting in those areas where you're not necessarily just sitting in one seat. You know what I'm saying? They're still making deals.
Well, the difference between the two parties is real.
Yes,
it's very simple.
Very, very simple. Yeah.
And that is, one side says I can do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, which is true.
And the other side says it takes all of us to move this country. And we want to hear from you and understand. We want to help those that needs help. And we want to take care of the fact that we're being, it's a reason that there are so many people trying to get into this country. And so we need to go back to, we determine who those people are. I mean, name a president in the 2000s or the early 1900s that said that canceled immigration, that was about to put people, I was about putting people out instead of trying to find ways to bring people in. What most of us don't understand is the workings of America, which is we grow a lot of our own food. Your kid and my kid, I know mine is not going to go out there and pick the berries or pull up any of the vegetables or the watermelon or the turnips or the tulips or whatever for us to eat. People from other countries that have less come here and do those what we call remedial jobs and making more money than they would ever make in the country they're from to help family members back home. They're not, I'm trying to find out if just one person or two people or three people out of that group commit a crime, that makes all of them guilty. I talk to people all the time, and I tell them the way America is set is that if it's a negative that can move you, they take that negative.
But that's the nature of the.
But
the piece.
what are the positives that move you?
Yeah, but it's still
you have to make that determination.
No. But again, it's a very unique arena that we live in.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is that statistically, the criminal element is only 2% of the population.
Right.
Real small.
Mm-hmm.
But they get 90% of the press.
Because it's 90% of the money.
Because you look at the press, the deal is if it bleeds, it leads.
Right.
Now, my wife was with the police department, civilian employee, and the property and evidence, and they have a gun show, and they had 2 rifles there, an AR-15 and an AK-47. The innards on those guns are pristine, but the outsides from all the handling and coming out and showing them all the time look like they've been through a war, because all the wear and tear is for half of the show. And the thing is that, like I tell people, firearms are actually not a good murder weapon. So.
Well, we don't go there. That's a different subject.
Well, the deal is it's easy enough to use, but the deal is getting away with it.
Right.
So, and the hysteria that goes along with it. But the thing is that, you have these teenagers that go out there and they do marvelous things, doing all kinds of things, and 1 or 2 does something wrong. All teenagers are bad, really too bad. But that's how it is, and it just and they unfortunately in the prison system, it's unfortunately the people of color are the ones who really get the shaft on it. See?
Yeah. Well, if I can make what everybody want to call the majority population fearful of the minority population, I win.
Yeah.
Because they'll give me more money to protect them. So we have to understand that the system is designed to break people apart. What's happening in the north is not happening in the south. What's happening in the east is because the north has just got out of it. The east is the north is going into it. The east is just getting out of it. The south is looking at what's going on, and the west is beginning to feel the pressure of getting into it. And the government is set up that way so that we can't all come together and take them out. And that's why we have so much negativity in the election process, because this didn't happen yesterday or when Donald Trump ran. This began before him, and he's just adding to the blueprint. That's all. And so we have to come to our senses and say, what type of America do we want to be? I was talking to a guy the other day who said to me, and I'll make this quick, you black people need to realize that you were brought here to serve. You weren't brought here to run this country. And I didn't get angry, because that's the way I said, well, what you found out is that we were running things, and we taught you how to run things, Europeans how to run things, long before. You need to read a history book. I said, so our inner being is to be in charge. I said, so you picked the wrong people to bring here and thought you could control. And then he tells me, he says, well, Donald Trump will control y'all. And I said, no, Donald Trump will cause a major conflict. I said, but you better think about more than just us, because when you have allies, that protects you from those that are against you. And when you begin to talk bad about your allies and begin to degrade them, and they step aside and form their own little group over here and leave you out there by yourself, you're going to find out that the world will come and get you. And that's the problem that I fear, more than him separating all of us, because it's enough of us that care about each other, regardless of the color. And those of us that understand the workings of immigration and all of those things, that we just hope he's not elected to destroy those
But then your point that you made in regards to that call that you made, color was not an issue back then.
Right.
And then, in all due respect to union, I mean, even the unionization, the unions were created by black workers, if you will, in many ways. A lot of folks, that's history.
They don't know it.
But the bottom line is like anything else, if they got a job and they get ready to transition, and they got to bring the experienced person, the only way they were able to say no to that person is say, come up with the skin color piece.
Right.
That's when skin color started. I'm just giving it a simple term. So when skin color got into the picture, they basically were able to they identify illegals, all kinds of stuff, and put them in that same group aspect of it. So now, under the definition of the so-called minority group, it's actually it's overrun the majority. So it's numbers now. It's not skin color.
So now it's fear.
Now it's fear because guess what? And the definition when those folks come over to this country, they get educated. They get elected to office,
right?
And I'll be right up front with it. The Jewish community is a good example of that. They were a small minority, but guess what? When they came to this country, they got elected to office. They went to school. They became lawyers and whatever. And now today, and I'm not taking anything away, but these are the facts.
Right.
They're getting $3 billion. I mean, the guys
a year over in Israel.
The guys are in the military. They got two cards. They got a card. When they say they got problems over there, they sit up there and they get down there and fight in that war. I would say if they were able to, if they made an audit on the troops, the number of troops that they have in Israel, the majority of those folks are U.S. citizens. A lot of folks don't understand that.
That's right.
But they don't. So my point is that, but that's the way we live today. We just going to have to go through that process, get away from the skin color. We got to get away from that skin color.
Oh, yeah.
And just go on and understand it's an education system. We got to educate our folks. Things are changing a bit, if you will, and be very specific about the issues and make darn sure that when there's an election, it's about issues, so the application process is going to make a big difference. Yeah. Now, if we're going to be talking about the personal stuff, then that may be included, but it's going to be part of the application process that say, well, no, you can't run because, hey, if you did this, this, that, and so therefore stick to the issues.
Right.
And I'm just saying that's just my opinion. That's what I'm seeing. But the skin color, that's not going to last. It's gone. It's not about blacks anymore because, and I brought the piece up because just locally with the local problem with Mingus, the man got in the office, got me, and in all due respect to a certain degree, he got in there. He basically went and worked for this lady who got in office, and then he just basically waited on the side, and then he ran against her.
Yeah, beat her.
And see, so now all of a sudden he's in the same dilemma.
Yeah.
see, so he's running for mayor. So I'm just making the point about, and then and the only thing the media could brought up was the blackness. That's ridiculous. They shouldn't have brought up the blackness aspect of it. What did he represent? I mean, if it's a story, but they ran that story because guess what?
Sure.
They're getting paid.
Well, the thing is, if I can say something negative about you,
yeah.
I get a lot of readers and a lot of conversation, and more people want to read what I'm writing.
That's right.
And so it's our fault. I used to be in the grocery business, and we used to have candy and all those small items up at the check stand. And do you notice what's up there now? Magazines, negative magazines, the Esquire and all those others. John beat his wife, and then you open it up and they said John had to stop his wife from beating him by slapping her. Who's at fault? And so.
But that's all part of it.
You get all of this negativity up front, and you have to crawl through all this garbage to get to the truth.
But just like you're right, Bob, but now that's part of the campaign now.
Yeah.
See, here we are trying to talk about issues, and they brought all that stuff is still part of the process.
Yeah.
See, so some way, shape, or form, we got to push that aside, and the only way we can do that is through the policy folks who've been elected on a lot of the negative stuff. You got my point? They don't want to change things because look, at 100 right up front with this new form of government, at $150,000 a crack. And all you have to do is sign up and just get 25% of that piece.
25% 5% plus 1.
25% plus 1, and that definition of 25 plus 1 are body counts.
Right.
Body counts when you pick up that $5, if you will, and if you can pick up the body count. I mean, number is 250. What's in your number?
I don't know what the number
Well,
is.
you should have known that. You had to
Because I didn't get into that ball game. See?
Yeah.
But see, you didn't get the number. Regardless, you're still running. You got to win. You know, the name of the game is that another person can just win, knock you out of the seat overnight by just getting the numbers.
True.
See,
No, interesting thing is that there was an article, and listen to the radio, and
let's go keep going. Now, 'cause we only have to show you how time passes.
There's the people way up there are telling us to look down on somebody. So you got all these people looking down on somebody else, rather than saying, you know, to hell with you. We're really
looking
good.
down on them, put a hand out and help them up. But nobody wants anyone to compete with it. People don't understand how the system works, you know, and then they're afraid to
yeah, because it bothers me personally.
yeah.
My job, and all that other good stuff. So look, as long as it don't affect me, I'm cool.
Right.
But now behind the door, if it's a neighbor that's a different person of color, well, guess what? I'm gonna have a whole different look on that piece, one way or the other. But that's ain't gonna last.
And you know, one of the things I want to know, and I just have to ask this question:
Go on,
what's a
bud.
black job?
Yep, there's no such thing as a black job. But people,
You know, there's some people out there with quote grub jobs. You're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money because you got these people who want a clean, easy job. Well, there's a lot of people that want that. So the deal is the people that are paying them don't have to pay them much.
Right. Well, when you go to buy a hamburger, and it costs you $7.95, and you can go buy a package of ground beef and put it on the skillet and make your own hamburger.
With a piece of
make
bread.
4 or 5 hamburgers for that $7.95. Why is it that you're not asking yourself, why am I doing this?
no, because I got the money.
Well,
I got the money.
then if you complaining about the cost and blaming somebody
I'm
for
not-
cost going
no,
up
but Bob,
and blaming the wrong people.
No, Bob, but at the same time, it's like anything else. It's not an issue with me. If I got the money, fine. That's your issue, but that's not my issue. I mean, they can print anything they want about that, but if I can get the hamburger for $20 and I got the money to do it, I don't have the time to be messing around trying to
cook me a hamburger.
That's right.
See, that's how lazy
That's
we've
right.
become.
And then the senseless thing comes in, like I said, with all of the so-called folks coming in, the illegals and this, that, and the other. You would think right off the bat, you know, that's we got the land. We got let's put together what do you call it, an agribusiness type deal. All of a sudden we'll be the producers of the world, but we don't do that, right? Because there's other entities that we do.
Sure.
So there's a lot of things. We got about a minute left.
So real quick, like on the past hurricane, you know, lies are being perpetrated just to get you upset so somebody can get a vote, and that is wrong.
Yeah, but
you know,
now the people that were living in those areas, if you will, that wasn't getting any support at all.
well, that's not true.
No.
And somebody need to read the report rather than listen to the news.
No, the reports. I mean, when you look at those visuals, people living up in those poor folks living up in
they couldn't
the
get
hills.
to them for 2 or 3 days.
No, they were
but
living.
They
They
did.
were living depressing. They didn't have the roads. All kinds of weird stuff were happening.
But they were living in that before the hurricane. A lot of it.
They were living. You know what we said? They
Yeah.
were living. You weren't living in that.
Right. And so now that a hurricane's come, you go complain about your living conditions.
I beg your pardon.
We got to stop letting other people agitate us to a point that it makes your blood boil.
Sounds good. It's an opinion, right?
Yeah.
Gee whiz, we've run our entire hour here. We're an entire hour, and Steve's about ready to cut us off here. Gentlemen, it's been great. We'll just
See you
continue. We'll see you next week. We'll do it again if Steve is available. Okay, fine. Take care. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. Vote.